now that they're in bloom, but I will put them all up on the screen. I love this one. This is new for this year. It's just a beautiful peach colour with yellow in the centre. I've had a little bit of slug damage, but generally I've been quite lucky. For those of you who have joined previous videos, I do a lot of housekeeping with my pots, so I often move them, try and find the slugs and snails and dispose of them where I can. This dahlia is a St. Martin. It's new this year. I've not grown this variety before. As you can see, it's quite tall. Here's a lavender perfection. Really beautiful. I've recently purchased another Ensetti. I do have a larger one. I absolutely adore these. They do come in the house for the winter, and I cut back some of the leaves and then don't water them as much in the winter, and then they come back out in the summer. I've also recently purchased this variety of banana. It is called, let's just get the label, Banana Ever Red. Of course, it's never going to give me bananas, but it is the foliage that is absolutely beautiful. I've purchased this new begonia, and it should give me some beautiful pink flowers soon. Let's just see the bud here. It is Begonia Sterling Night, I think it is. Sterling Moon. Beautiful hydrangea and a canna here. The canna is not really grown for the flower, so it's a red flower. Now, I'm not a big fan of reds, but it's more the leaf that I love. This deep sort of russet colour, really beautiful. Now, all my hostas have had only a little bit of nibble. I've been quite lucky. Again, I do a lot of housekeeping, so I move everything, look around and make sure that there is no slugs and snails. You will not win the battle. Eventually, come mid-August, end of August, these will start getting eaten. They get hungrier and hungrier as the season goes on. I have another begonia here. This one has some pink flowers. It is a begonia Space Stars Avior. Again, lots of begonias in the UK won't survive the winters, so they come into the house over winter. I water very lightly, I cut all the dead foliage back, and it should survive as a house plant if kept in the right conditions. This is a Cleopatra, and it again, it's grown for the beautiful foliage. I really try my best not only to have plants with beautiful flowers, I try and mix everything up with lots of different type of leaf styles. Now, this one here has been eaten quite a lot, so I am going to be moving quite a few of these plants to see if I can find the culprit. Also at the back here I have all my other begonias. So the corns, again, I dry them out in autumn and I store them over winter in a frost-free environment. They come back out in the spring. I try and grow them inside until they're about 2 or 3 inches, and then they come into or they're placed in their pots. I've got Florence, white begonia, the red one. Again, as I said, I'm not a big fan of red, but to be quite honest, I think it's quite a beautiful plant, so I'm quite happy to have the odd bits and pieces in the garden that don't quite fit my little colour scheme. I think this year I've kind of, I don't really care if I like the plant. It's planted, it's grown, and I do love looking at these particular ones all together. Really lovely. So I also have quite a number of phlox in the garden. So this particular one here is white. It grows to about 90 centimetres, and it's the last phlox in my garden to flower. Which I think is quite a good thing, because you can't have everything in bloom at the same time, so it really extends the season for the phlox. And I have the phlox in a number of locations, like here and at the back there, so everything ties in really beautifully. So here in the west side of the garden, so we get the evening sun here. I've just got some fuchsias, and this particular one stays out all winter, it dies back, and then it springs back to life in the April. And I also have, which is flopping again, those of you who have watched my previous videos will know that I've had a fox in the garden a number of times, and this particular area he likes to just literally lay down in it. So he's done it again, and this time I think this is a starship. Is it lobelia? Yes, lobelia starship blue. I may stake it just to keep it upright, but it's a lovely purple colour. Again, I keep pointing out this hydrangea. I really love it. I just love the colour. It's the leaf tone, and I think because I had this particular hydrangea, I bought this plant here. Is it a Astrantia? Oh, this is where I test myself. No, it is. Oh, there's the label. Let's have a look. A steel bee. Sorry, a steel bee. Delift lace. I have a Rebecca here. Beautiful. I've yet to plant that. This was a gift from somebody, and I think it's going to look really lovely there. I have lots of verbena. Those of you who have joined me previously, verbena has never done well in my garden, so I've gone all out this year. I've bought 3 different varieties, so I'm hoping one of them will stick and survive the winter. My salvia amnestad. Love, love, love salvia amnestad. So in probably the end of August, the beginning of September, I will take several cuttings, and they all come into the house over winter to grow. All of these have been through cutting, so every salvia that you see, or the amnestad salvia here, have all been from probably 5 or 6 overwintered salvia plants, and then I took more cuttings again in the spring and planted them all out. They're doing super duper. My roses this year, odd year. I've got a number of roses. I'm going to wait for them to bloom to try my best to do a sort of video on all my roses. I've got a number of them, and funny enough, I think I've got one bloom in the garden, which might be the Olivia Austin. So I'm not going to dwell on my roses. No idea what's going on. I just think it's been an odd year. More Phlox again, my super favourite, this one. Now I'm not going to move this from the location it's currently in, but it does need dividing. I am debating whether to lift and divide and maybe just place a little bit at the end there. Might look quite nice. I did do a half Chelsea chop this year, so I did chop the front, and as you can see it has got blooms at the front that haven't yet come out, and all the back have. So I'm hoping once the back dies down, the front will then keep it going for a bit longer. This one is called Bright Eyes Paniculata. The one next to it here, I can't recall the name of this one, but this one here is Sweet Summer. Again, it's that kind of paniculata shape, which is nice. Princess Anne rose. I've got another rose behind that. I've got the Queen of Sweden, again, nothing in bloom. Now this one, I've completely forgotten the name of that, died back in the winter, and it came back up quite late in the spring, but it's caught up with its growth, really pretty. I've got two new plants, again a gift. The same person gave me 3 plants, really lovely salvias. This one is a salvia caradonna, and this one, I'm not sure if it's got the name. I think it has. Sylvestris cherry hunger, or snow hill white. The bees are loving this. My salvia love and wishes, and again the fuchsias looking beautiful at the back. My Olivia Austin rose, which has got lots of blooms to come, so I will wait for those to come out. Just a very small hydrangea there. I'm going to be experimenting. I have these Dahlia seedlings that I grew very late in the season, but I'm going to see how big I can get them before they need to be lifted. I'm hoping the tubers will be big enough to save to come back out in the spring. Here is another casualty of the fox, my phylloxera. Got completely squashed, but I have placed it in its original pot, which I found. Or not the original pot, I found the tag, placed it in a pot, and it's growing nicely, so hopefully that will be able to be planted back out in the spring. I love this fern. I will try and find out the name of it. It grows on these sort of roots, you can see, and I need to find out what it is. Obviously I think it's quite an exotic plant, so it needs to come in the winter. I have the agapanthus. So this particular there's 2 pots here with agapanthus. It is kept at the front of the house, so the front of the house is south facing, so once they bloom I bring them to the back of the house to enjoy. So they've been outside for a little while, and I've brought them to the back now just to enjoy them here. I've moved a pot here with salvia. I think I have got some zinnias in there as well, so they've yet to come out, and I also have the gladioli as well at the back, where I cannot see anything growing from the gladioli. Bit disappointed. Okay, so this particular section you can see here is my sunny border. This area here gives me the greatest challenge, I think, in my garden, to find sun-loving plants that can cope with a lot of wet in the winter. It's quite difficult, but I think I'm almost there with it. I think I've done better this year than previous years. I have the one and only rose actually in this particular section, deeper shade of, I keep saying deeper shade of pale, but I think it's deeper shade of white. It is deeper shade of pale, so it's a David Austin rose, really lovely, highly recommended if you are looking for a pale pink, really pale pink to the point of white. A beautiful plant. I have my verbena again there, and I bought the third verbena yesterday, so it's still in its pot. It is, let me have a look. Lavender spires. Again, my Rachel's Joy is budding up. I bought a second one. One thing I have realised, as a plant lover, I buy lots of different plants, but I think the best thing to do, which is what the experts advise, is to buy odd numbers, so 3s, 5s, 7s of the same plant, and it brings a more cohesion to the garden. However, break all the rules, do what you like, because that's what I do, but I will be filling the area up with plants that are happy in my garden, and I think that's key. If the plants are happy, then they will thrive and your garden will look beautiful. Okay, we are getting to my problem area. I'm going to do a whole video, I think, on this area here. I'll back up so you can see. Okay, I have a very large cherry tree which I trim back. The problem is my neighbour's trees are pushing onto and over my trees on this side, so they need cutting back. I will be very nice to my neighbour and ask if I can cut some of the trees back. Also, I think it's elderflower, so you can see the pigeon there enjoying the berries, and while it's enjoying the berries, its droppings then drop in this whole section here, so it's not very pleasant. So it's dry, it's shady in most part of the garden. I have a grapevine at the back which needs removing. It hasn't given me any grapes for probably 3 or 4 years. It never gave me huge amounts anyway, so that's going to be ripped out. I am going to just continue the shady area into this area, and we'll get to the shady area now, but I'm going to take out a lot of the plants from that area that are not doing very well. So I have a rose, a William and Kate, or Catherine and William David Austin rose, not happy there at all. So yeah, it's this whole section is going to be revamped. The best and happiest plant is this hydrangea, lace cap hydrangea. I've had it for many years. I would love actually to move this to that corner, but of course it may not like that corner, but it would look absolutely wonderful there, I think. I'll think on it. I don't want to risk it, but it's been there a number of years, really happy. So I will think. Let me know what you think. Yes, take a chance, or no, leave it well alone. Lots and lots of plants here. I do have a clematis here which I need to cut back and pull out. It's not happy there, it hasn't given me any flowers, so I may put this on my mini pergola near the shed. I have fuchsias, lots of different ferns here, and it then goes well into my shady border. I have my messy spot. Everyone in the garden has a messy area. This is my messy spot. Just leave all the gardening stuff here. So I love ferns. Those of you who have never visited my channel before, I often say it as soon as I get to this section, every time, I love ferns. I do truly love ferns. I just love the fact that they're Jurassic plants, so they are our oldest plants. They come in all shapes, all sizes, and I am making it a mission to try and get as many as possible in my garden, because again, north facing garden, shade loving plant. Now this anime I've pulled out many times. It is a bit of a fug, but it is very pretty, but it's hard to keep under control. This phlox here, the white phlox, which I have on the other side of the garden, needs to be pulled out. It's only because it just looks a bit odd there, with everything else being so low level. And we're almost at the end. Back to the pond, I have got a number of ferns here, ostrich fern and shuttlecock ferns. Again, here I've got some beautiful anomay plants. Oops, and it's gone. But there's lots of buds, loads and loads of buds. And now we're coming to the back again on the deck. I have this beautiful begonia. It's new to the garden this year. No idea what to do with that in the winter, but I'll probably just treat it as all my other begonias, cut it back and store it, and hopefully it will come back again next year. Now, fortunately, or not unfortunately, with the sun glaring, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this one here, this beautiful dahlia. I'll put the name up on the screen because it's already escaped me. And these ones, all beautiful dahlias here. I put together this pot some time ago. It is looking a mess. I have to do something with that. I may just really just chop it back and see what happens. I've got some colocasia, and this one is called a Hawaiian Punch. They were bigger than this last year, but this is as high as I've been able to get them. I think they like to be with their feet in the water, so I'm going to keep them topped up with water and see if it helps grow. This one here is a black black coral. Again, it was bigger when I bought it. It's now shrunk. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Another begonia with lovely flowers. And then we are now at the pond. So I have my big anceti, really lovely, in a pot. Another colocasia, which I bought this year, pink china. And then canna at the front, and I think they have either yellow flowers, but none this year so far. But again, just happy where it is here. And then over to the pond with the fish. This year I have to find a way to shade this area. As soon as you get any sun on a pond, algae starts to grow. So I'm going to be redesigning this area to create shade on this section. My fuchsia then needs to move somewhere, which I may move on the other side of the pond. So that will be a future video, I'm sure. So that was a whirlwind tour of the garden in July. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe for my future videos. Please do make any comments, and please like and share. You really do support me. I'm just a keen gardener wanting to share my lovely space with you. Thank you so much for joining. Take care now. Bye.